Hey y'all, it's LaDonna, and I'm inviting you on my journey today to come on over to Marmie's house and see what's going on here today. I thought I would just talk to you a little bit about ironing. Now, I haven't ironed a lot in years because I just got to a point in my life where I was just really busy, and that was one thing I just would rather send out and have done if I could afford to. So mostly I just buy clothes that don't have to be ironed, and then things like Russell's shirts or Reagan's shirts or that need to be ironed for church. I would send those to the cleaners with suits or dry cleanable clothes. But recently I just started thinking, well, if I could get me a steamer again like I used to have, and I could probably just steam most of my clothes and not have to send them to the cleaners. And then if I just had to hit a few places with an iron, I could do that. I really actually like to iron. It's just taking the time to do it. To me, it's very relaxing, and I have wonderful memories of ironing. My grandmother used to iron every Tuesday because that's the day that you did the ironing back in those days. And I can remember, because they didn't have air conditioning in their home, I can remember her getting up very, very early before the sun was up after my grandfather went to work, and she would iron. And when it was still dark outside, that was just amazing to my little mind. And I can remember her in the living room under the light bulb. You know, they had those old light bulbs that hung out of the ceiling, no light fixture, just a light bulb. Later years, they got a ceiling fan. But back then, they only had the light bulb, and she would get right under that light where she could see. And I can remember watching her iron. But first of all, before I ever saw her, I could hear her praying, because my grandmother would pray and iron. And so those are my wonderful memories of my grandmother, my Granny Trix, ironing. And then also my mother, believe it or not, has at times, when I was a very young child, took in ironing for people and got paid to do it. You know, a lot of people did that. A lot of moms did that back in the day for extra money. And they would just take in people's clothes and charge them by the hour, not by the hour, by the item. And I can't remember what the prices were, but I do remember my mom doing that. And I remember watching her as a very young child. She had a Dr. Pepper bottle, actually, because I remember it had the 10, 2, and 4 on it. And she had this little stopper thing, and she could sprinkle the water on there, sprinkle the starch on there, and she ironed people's clothes. So I just thought I would share how I decide if something needs to be ironed today. So I have a pile of Russell shirts here, about a week's worth from the laundry room. And I'm going to show you. Now, I do my best to buy things that don't have to be ironed. So this one is a really good example of a shirt that really doesn't need to be ironed. I mean, it's got a print on it. It's not wrinkled up. I take them out of the dryer before they get wrinkled. The only thing is, on the back, the hem is rolled up a little bit. Now, if he wore these inside, I wouldn't even mess with it. But because he wears them on the outside of his pants, I'm just gonna hit that with the iron here. I've already got my iron on and it's ready to go. I'm not even gonna put any starch on it. I'm just gonna iron. I'm gonna give it a little steam, because the steam helps those wrinkles come out. And my stepdad taught me a lot about ironing, believe it or not, because he was in the military. He was in the Army and the Navy, and he knew how to iron. He could not stand the way of my mother ironed, and so he taught me how to iron. That's when I got to ironing on a flat surface like this. I love my granite countertop because it's so much more than just a place to do cooking on. I do lots of things. I do most of my laundry on this granite countertop. Having a little difficulty with this. So what my stepdad would do, if he had something that was rolling up on the outside, he would turn it to the inside and fold it over where it was rolling, and then just press it down and get that where it was going back the right way, and then he would press it open like that. So that's a trick I learned from Mr. Felix Saunier. And then I'm just gonna take this side. This side really doesn't even need to be done, but just for a sake of saying I did it, I'm gonna do it. And then I'm gonna just pull this. I'm gonna see, maybe if I put some starch on it, I can get that to stop rolling. So we'll just put some starch on it and spray it really, really good. And I kind of got like too much. But anyways, I'm just gonna wipe this down with my hand. And you wanna give it a minute to kind of get into the material or it'll just scorch onto your iron. You don't want it to do that. So that looks really good. And I'm just gonna do this front side over here that really doesn't need to be done, but just for the sake of doing it, we'll do it. So see how easy that is? And I mean, if I wasn't talking to you guys, I could have done it probably in less than a minute. So Mr. Mills will have a nice shirt to wear without any rolled up hems on it. Now, let's see if I can find one. This one actually looks really good too. The hem is not even, it is rolled up a little bit. Now what I could do too is, I could take the steamer and just try to steam it out, but since I've already got my iron going here, this is not a very big project. I'm just gonna iron this down like this. And looky there, voila. I mean, how are you guys doing in this lockdown that we're having? This virus is taking over. You know, I find a lot of peace in doing normal, menial tasks because it just makes life more normal in times like this. And so I'm not really too concerned. I'm being cautious. I'm doing what is recommended. I'm staying home. I'm washing my hands. I'm keeping things sanitized. And I'm going to be making some masks later on today for my family to wear when we have to go to the grocery store, gas station, whatever. But this is a shirt. This material is actually a little more wrinkly. Now back in the day, my mother would have starched and ironed this whole thing. But I'm just really not into that. It's not horrible bad at all. So what I'm gonna do is, the back is not even rolled up on this one. I think what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna stick it on my steamer, turn it on, because it just takes it just a second to get hot. And I'm just gonna run this one through the steamer real quick. I'll move it over this way a little bit more so you can see it better. Let's see if I can get my everything turned around for the camera. And you guys have to forgive me because I'm having to learn how to work with the camera. That's basically what this little test run today is about. It's learning how to work with the camera and things I need to do in advance to be set up for these videos. So anyway, my steamer's going now. I'm just gonna take this out. And just like I would if I was gonna put it on the ironing board, I'm pulling that sleeve taut and then just steaming it. I'm using the brush on my steamer, so I'm just laying it right on the material. And you're gonna be amazed. This is gonna look like it's been pretty much ironed. Ironed without starch is the look that we're going for here. And you see how really easy it is. For one thing, if you will get your clothes out of the dryer before they're completely dried and wrinkled up, makes the ironing process and the steaming process so much easier to handle. And basically, you know, and I look at it like this too. I'm just gonna get the really bad areas because when you get in the car and you sit down and put your seatbelt on, it's gonna wrinkle up your starched shirt. And there's nothing that makes me more furious than to pay $2.50 to get a shirt starched at the cleaners And before you get out of the driveway, it's already wrinkled up. So I am in this mode of going back and doing things as much for myself as possible. We're on a no spin this year, and although dry cleaning is in the spendable category, I'm trying to reduce that to just the dry clean items, not laundry items. I'm going to try to do all the laundry items myself. So I hope something I said or shared added value to your life today. And if it did, give me a like and subscribe to my channel, and we'll be making more informational videos coming up soon. In fact, that Coke cake recipe is coming up next. So stick around, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my uploads. Thank you, bye-bye. Oh, and if you're seeing this on Facebook, I need you to actually click over to YouTube and like my YouTube channel and subscribe there. Thank you so much. See you later, bye-bye.